Today on Sports Central, we're going to be going over my NFL playoff game preview over the divisional round matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Should be a good matchup here between both these teams. Green Bay Packers, of course, are 13-3 and have done pretty good this season, even though they've won a lot of close games. I mean, Seattle's kind of in the same position there, sitting with 11 wins. But nonetheless, previous game for both these teams, Seattle beat Philadelphia 17-9 in the playoff round matchup last week, and then Green Bay beat Detroit in the last game of the regular season 23-20. Some key stats from these games for Seattle: Russell Wilson, 18 for 30, 325 yards and 1 touchdown. Overall, I mean, he's had a really good season. He's played much better, in my opinion, than Aaron Rodgers has. Aaron Rodgers just did not, I mean, especially in this game against Detroit, he doesn't have a very good ratio of 27-55, 323 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also has, along with that, which that's not terrible, but for 55 passes, you need to make more than 27. Especially, I mean, if you looked at his first half performance in that game, man, it was pretty rough. Games can be on Sunday, January 12th, 6:40 p.m. Eastern in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Spread currently says Packers by 4. ESPN FPI is also saying Packers 66%, and then Vegas is saying Packers by 13, 28-15. So overall, I mean, all three of these sources are pretty reasonable. I think it's going to be a closer one here. I mean, with it being in Green Bay and also in a cold environment, no doubt that it's going to be more of a close game. Here's your stat comparison as well. Your previous 5 games for both these teams. Seattle beat the Eagles once again, and then they lost 3 of their last 4 regular season games. That certainly hurt their chances of making a 1 seed. I mean, we were talking Seattle could make a 1 seed in the NFC back at the beginning of December. And those talks were long gone after they lost those 3 games. They lost to the Niners 21-26, lost to the Cardinals by 2 touchdowns, 13-27. They beat the Panthers by 6, 30-24, and they beat the Rams, or actually they lost to the Rams on the road 12-28. As for the Packers, they've won 5 straight. They beat the Lions, they beat the Vikings, Bears, Redskins, and Giants. So overall, I mean, their last stretch was pretty simple. I mean, your toughest matchup was against the Vikings on the road. And I mean, they played pretty well in that game. You also got to note. So this team does play pretty well in big matchups. I mean, they beat the Chiefs earlier in the season as well. So this team has played well in big matchups. They did beat the Bears by 8, though. They had some close games, though. I mean, for sure. I mean, the Redskins 20-15. You got to beat the Redskins by more than 5, especially at home. That Lions game was pretty sloppy. The Bears game was a little bit sloppy as well. I mean, the Giants, they played pretty well. 31-13 is what their final score was. That's how they ended up winning. So they played pretty well against the Giants and the Vikings. But other than that, I mean, the Packers are going to need to play much, much better than how they have been in the regular season if they're going to win in the playoffs. Key points for this game: both teams have a lot of close wins, no doubt. I mean, both teams are really, really similar in that way. Packers have been better down the stretch, though. Seahawks have a more reliable quarterback, in my opinion. I just trust more in Russell Wilson right now than Aaron Rodgers, especially with Aaron Rodgers getting a little bit older. It seems like he's a little bit on a decline right now, especially with, I mean, his stats aren't all that terrible, honestly. I mean, he only has a couple of interceptions this season, and he's got a lot of touchdowns. But overall, I mean, he's got 4,000 yards, and he usually gets way more than 4,000. Nonetheless, though, Packers do have Aaron Jones, who they've been using a ton more this season, so that could play a factor into that. But for Seahawks and Russell Wilson, I mean, he's playing very, very well right now. And I mean, this Seahawks team is super banged up, too. That's another thing that's a little bit concerning for this team. Of course, the running back situation is a little bit messy. Having to get Marshawn Lynch to come into this running back war, I mean, it is a little bit sloppy for the Seahawks team as far as injuries go. Packers defense is playing very well, though, no doubt about it. I mean, the Packers defense, usually they're morally known for their offense and their defense, but their defense has been playing well. And I mean, the Seahawks, on the other hand, their defense has been great, too. No doubt about that. And they've been more healthy on defense. I mean, their offense is really banged up, though. That's the thing that really concerns me. Russell Wilson's doing well. He's healthy, but the rest of this offense is pretty tough injury-wise. How would each team win this one? I'd have to say if the Packers can get up by a couple of touchdowns early on, if they can take a good, easy lead at the beginning of this game, I think that they can get the win here, no doubt. I mean, Aaron Rodgers also has to play really well. If he can break this Seahawks defense, I think that they get this win here. But then again, I mean, for the Seahawks, they're leading the NFL in big plays. I mean, they've got a lot of talent. Of course, DK Metcalf had a crazy great game against the Eagles last week. So for the Packers, they're going to have to stop him, and they're going to have to put pressure on Russell Wilson as well if they're going to win it. And I think that's what happens. I think the Packers get the win here by a touchdown. Your halftime score 10-3. Packers lead it by 7. And in the final, 20-13. I think we see more of a low-scoring game here. Most people expect it to be more high-scoring, but I think with the weather and the coolness and stuff, I think we see a close Lower scoring matchup, 20-13 is what your final score is going to be. Packers end up winning this one by a touchdown. They take control most of this game. It wouldn't surprise me to see the Seahawks tie it up or possibly take a small lead at any point. But I think the Packers get the win here, 20-7 or 20-13. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below though on this game. Let me know who you think is going to win as well. This has been a crazy NFL playoff season for sure. I mean, especially last night with the Titans winning. Man, things are going crazy right now. I mean, NFC though, things are going as expected. So I mean, it's not really affecting any of these teams at all. But nonetheless, I mean, the AFC is going crazy. Should be a fun end of the postseason, that's for sure. Thank you guys all for watching though once again. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central, and I will see you all later.